Okay, we're good to go.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm really good today. I love this topic. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think we'll have a fun discussion. Um, but it's kind of funny. I'm on my second cup of coffee this morning as I'm
Uh-oh.
thinking about what motivates me. That might be it.
You know what? We didn't even talk about that. What substances motivate you?
Right.
No, it's true. I mean, that's so funny. I hadn't thought about that. Let me just see. We got some people coming in. We have Amanda, Jason, Lisa, Michelle. Good morning, Beth.
Beth.
How's everybody doing? Good, I hope. It's a Thursday morning and it's going to be a beautiful day here in New Jersey. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So at least we can see the sunshine outside if we don't get out there.
So is everyone joining us from Jersey? Where's Michelle?
Michelle's in Connecticut.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, please.
someone's on the beach. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. It's where
Yeah,
we wish we were.
Michelle, I do wish it was Friday. I woke up this morning and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be another long day, but Friday's going to be good. So,
Oh my God.
oh,
Um,
it's
so
late.
I'm
Let's
gonna, I'm
go.
gonna start our intro. Welcome. Aisha Hamilton's the owner at Hamilton Law and focuses her practice on employment law. My name's Alisa McCabe. I'm the owner at First Steps Financial, and we help businesses get their act together. How's that? I'm gonna cut it short. Disclaimers. All information and content on this webinar is for general informational purposes only. So what we already started talking about is what motivates and empowers you. Is it the energy of others, your own goals, family motivations, books, videos? And one of the things that that always goes back to, and I think I told you this before, Aisha, and it might be why we came up with this, is my son, who's in his mid-20s, he loves to skateboard. And when he was in high school, he would get on YouTube and he would watch all these videos of guys skateboarding, and then he would go outside and skateboard. And I was like, oh my God, he's getting himself all pumped up. Like you could see him getting excited and being like, yeah, let's go. And I think that's motivation. That's, like getting you pumped up. And it was, and I thought, oh, what can I do to get pumped up about my day?
Was there a girl out there that he was like, I
I know.
know she walks by at this particular time and I'm going to make sure that I'm out there practicing?
Oh my God, too funny. So, Amanda's in New York. Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Um, so we do have some states represented here. We
Yeah.
have more than a few. At one point I'll be in Maryland, so
And you've been in
I've been
Massachusetts.
in Massachusetts
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yes.
we first week in November,
Right.
first week, second week, first week in November, I'll be there. But I will be here for the election. So excited. I feel like I want to buy guns and have ammunition and sandbags.
That's what motivates me.
Oh my God. It doesn't, to me at this point, I don't even care who wins.
I needed to be over.
I'm slightly afraid.
Exactly.
So, so how do you define empowerment and what does it mean to you? What empowers you? Like what gets you going?
Yeah. So I think about when I think about motivation and empowerment, I define them as sort of two different things.
Mhm.
I look at empowerment as something that is sort of global. It keeps me, it keeps me focused. It keeps me really looking at the big picture and how I'm going to get there. And it's always external, right? It's always this like I'm responding to a great speech I heard, or I'm responding to an important message that I've received, or responding to that.
Oh, I know. I was just thinking that. I was thinking Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the things that she went through and the things that she did makes me feel empowered. Like I have the right to do this.
Yeah.
She did it. I can do it. I feel I do. I think you're right. I think it's a much larger thing. And what do you think about motivation? What's your
So,
definition for
so when I
motivation?
look at motivation, I'm going to give you this example. So last night, it was about 6 o'clock. I'm here at my office. I had been in a day-long deposition, and for you lawyers, that's draining. It's exhausting. But I said to myself, every day I'm going to work out, because in the process of this move, I didn't want to like lose my little bike trainer thing to storage. So I brought it to my office. And so now it's actually really, it's right here. It's easy for me to do this every day. And so
Wow.
that helps. But I'm looking at, my bag. I got to change, get ready to work out. And I'm just like, oh, I don't think I can do this. And then I look at the inside of my Athleta bag, and it's got this little thing that says the power of she. And I
Ah,
thought, well, you know what? Like, I don't have to give it my all, but I need to just get on the bike.
I needed to give it something.
I need to give it something, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the 100% that I would expect myself to do usually, but I can do it.
Hmm.
So that motivates me, right? Little reminders of, come
Yeah.
on, you can do this. And like this morning driving in, music is a huge
Yes.
motivator. So when I was in law school, I always had like a song that had, you know, just a great beat to it. And I always listened to this thing before I went in to take an exam. And
Oh,
it was
really?
so I think about motivation as being something that brings out the energy in me. Because I
Yeah.
think when we lack motivation, it's usually about low energy.
Oh, absolutely. Talk to me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm
Right.
having my afternoon crash, and tell
Exactly.
me, here, can you do this? And I'd be like, nah, I can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the time when we say no to everything.
Yeah. Kids, don't talk to me now. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. No, that's totally true. It's funny. I was at my 12-year-old is being homeschooled, and she's like, Mom, I want to be on, I want to watch you guys on Facebook. And I'm like, okay. I said, she's like, what are you talking about? I said, motivation, empowerment. And she's like, what's that? And so I was like, and same thing. I said, the other night when you were cleaning your room, you said you put on some great music and you were kind of dancing around your room, cleaning your room. I said, that's motivation. That's getting you going, getting you moving. And I was trying to explain empowerment is when you feel really good about yourself and you feel, I don't know, like doing the right thing, or you feel very accomplished. You feel you have the right to do things.
Yeah.
um Recently I have had an experience with empowerment that was actually surprising for me. I have been really struggling with some of the effects of endometriosis, and endometriosis is such a freaking nightmare. Like, I'm in pain almost every day, which most people, if you don't have it, it's foreign. But I was like, all right, first of all, I'm thinking I'm dying because I'm in so much pain all the time. And it really depletes you. Being in pain depletes your energies, your mental capacity, everything. And I don't know why, but I finally joined a Facebook group for endometriosis. And I felt so empowered, like I can do something about this.
Right.
All these women have lived with it. I've only lived with it for a few years. They've lived with it for like 20 years and they're doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, yes, I can do something about this. And maybe empowerment is being able to be in control of it,
Right.
because I think the opposite of not feeling empowered is not being in control of it
Right.
in some way, or having control over a situation.
So do you think of yourself as someone who empowers others?
I freaking hope so. So I was thinking about that because I know I'm a motivator. So I'm a big cheerleader. I'm like, go, rah, rah. I'm all about that because I want people to feel good about themselves, because I know when people feel good, they they excel at whatever they're doing. But empowerment, that would be, like, and I was trying to think, like, do I listen to my team? Do I listen to my kids? Do I give them, um, do I hand over control to them to let them be able to do something? And I hope that I do. I really do. I think, I don't know, you'd have to ask other people. I try to. If nothing else, I can say that I try to. What about you? I mean, you have kids, you have other people that you work with, you have colleagues. Do you motivate them and empower them?
So I think I'm not sure I do a whole lot of motivation, right? Because I don't have I'll motivate my kids, whether it's to negative.
Your butt out the door now.
Exactly. Um, I hope that I empower them in
Mhm.
that I think that it is, I think I share my workday with them. I
Mhm.
share when I'm stressed. I share when I'm happy. I'm share, you share the ups and downs because I think they also, empowerment also comes from having the knowledge, right? And I
Right.
think it's important that they know that not everything in life is like it is on TV, right? Not,
Oh my God.
it's not, life is hard. And if you go into it prepared and understanding that there's ups and downs, I think you're more empowered.
That's true.
Um,
That's a good
I'm,
point.
I spend a lot of time empowering my clients because I will tell you that by the time they come to me, they have been so beaten down by their employers and so sort of demoralized and their performance questioned and they're starting to question their own value and their,
Oh,
and so I think it's important for them to pull out of that, right?
yeah.
To be able to say, you know what? No, I do have choices. And whether I use this attorney or I don't use an attorney at all and I go back and negotiate for myself, I
Mm.
empower them with the ability to do that. And then, some of them decide to do it on their own, and some of them, if they have a bigger issue, will use me. But the I think it starts from sort of being able to say, no, you do have choices, and that in itself is empowering.
Yep, that's just what I was. When you said choices and you allowed them to make choices, that's really important. I like that. I think, and maybe, because I want to be someone that empowers my team, that empowers other people, because I think that's much more a long term, something that lasts with people long term, as opposed to being a motivator, because a motivator is short term. Like you said, you just needed a boost to get on that bicycle, and all you had to do was to read that, and it was a short term boost.
Right.
Um,
So what do you think about, so when we talk about motivation, right, and as a short-term boost, how do you recognize when the people around you need that? To,
oh, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I read that very easily in people, like either in my team or even in my family or somebody. Like you can just tell, like all of a sudden they start to get a little bit low, like they start to have difficulties, or you can almost tell that they're doubting themselves in some way.
right,
And I don't know if anybody has teenage girls, let me tell you, it's like a freaking full-time job empowering them and motivating them,
right,
and seeing them, like take a hit and just start to tell them like, hey, you're so great at this, and let's think about that, and try to get them to think along a certain line.
right.
We're actually doing a book with my 12-year-old called The Confidence Code, and it was written by these women. And if I remember it, I'll put it on the thing. These women, they wrote a book for female adults about the confidence code, but they did this really really good book for teenage girls, and it actually has exercises in it. And one of the exercises is you have to write down what you're really good at and keep that list and look at it daily. And I thought, that's motivating.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, wow, we should all do that. Because there's days when you don't feel good. And if you can self motivate,
Right,
and keep that list and say, okay, I know I totally suck today at doing whatever, but those things over there, I'm good at. Okay.
right.
I can power through. So that's, I think, what motivation, what, is there anything like else? Like, how do you stay motivated during the day? Like for work, like really, like put your feet on the floor, man, get out of that bed. Is
The
there anything?
billable, the billable hour is a pretty good motivator. But I will say that work, I don't feel like I need a whole lot of motivation for work. And maybe it's because as an entrepreneur, um, I feel like this is mine, right? This is mine. If no one does this work, then this venture dies, right?
Right.
So that's a pretty strong motivator, that's always out there. And I won't even call it empowering because it's literally just you got to get it done, right?
Yeah.
It's always present.
Mm.
Um, but I think of, when I have to motivate clients to get this done, to get something, sometimes I spend time, and I'll call it motivating, but motivating adversaries to see the benefit of resolving something, right? And I
Mm.
will tell you, in my line of work, where for the most part I represent the employee, the adversaries are from big firms being paid by insurance companies. They have absolutely no incentive to resolve this easily and early,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and they have every incentive to sort of drag it out and torture you. It's
Yeah. They
sort
have
of the
deep
way I look
pockets.
at it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and so I think that some of my skill set comes in encouraging and motivating adversaries to see what the value is in your proposition, right? And I guess that's motivating kids too, is they need to recognize what the value is to them in actually getting up and putting away their laundry or washing their clothes or whatever it is you're trying to motivate them to do. So I think we as moms are sort of uniquely positioned in that workspace too, because you're always thinking about what's the value proposition for someone else, so
Mhm.
that I can make sure that this gets done, so that my needs are met and my objectives are achieved. um, I don't
Yeah.
know, I guess that's a form of motivation.
I think, Jason said too, he's continually inspired and empowered by his children
Yeah.
and how they persevere and achieve. And his son has been pursuing a project and it just went live and it's at the Atlantic Projects / Planet.
Wow,
So pretty
congratulations.
cool.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that we find empowerment in so many different places and motivation in so many different places. I know that I will, right now, I am rereading Traction, the book Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a book about entrepreneurial operating system and how to set up your company so that it runs really well. And it's more about what your processes are and how to get everything and what your core values are. And I'm just redoing it, making sure like everything's staying updated. But it's empowering because it's giving me control and choices over what I want to do in my company and how I want to do it. And I'm involving my team in it and and so they have a say in how the company's being built. So
Right.
I'm hoping that's empowering to them, and it's also something they can be really proud of afterwards. But I find like books, podcasts, man, do I love podcasts. I don't know, I gotta tell you.
What are you listening to?
Oh my God, I have to tell you, and don't think poorly of me, but I gotta tell you, I've been listening to Joe Rogan.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God, he's a filthy mouth comedian. No, he's a comedian. He's an MMA fighter. But he has this really good podcast, and I think it's called the Joe Rogan Hour. I think he has a couple of them because I was really surprised. My kids were like, "Oh, Mom, you should watch this," and I was like, or listen to it. It's the Joe Rogan Experience. It's called, and I found it very enlightening. A lot of them. He talks really, um, he's kind of middle of the road. He's like liberal, but like not so far that you can't listen to him. It's like I think everybody can listen to him. Do you know what I mean? Like no matter what your views are. And it's really the things that he talk about they make me think differently and I feel empowered to do more.
Oh,
And
that's great. I'm gonna have
yeah,
to give that a try.
Really interesting. I mean, there's certain ones, some of them are just about MMA fighting, and I'm like, pfft. Oh,
Oh,
wait, someone tried Dolly Parton's America. Oh, I love anything about Dolly
I'm
Parton.
gonna listen to that.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Um,
so do you ever think that empowerment, um, can it be a negative, right? So does it get us to a point where we're overconfident? Um, and I tell you what, the reason I bring this up is because I feel this all the time. So I don't know if it goes with that imposter syndrome.
you feel like you're too right? I'm
Well, of
sorry. Did
course
your
I
husband
am
tell you
right.
that? You're always right.
I'm always right. But I feel like even in work, right? So I'm always like, oh my God, did I catch every issue? Am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? Have I missed something? What are they thinking about that I'm not thinking about? You know, it's like, what's the part of the strategy? And then I worry about overconfidence. Like,
Yeah.
am I so empowered that now I've stopped? I don't know. I don't know what the balance is. This terrifies me all the time.
No, and I agree, because you don't want to run rickshaw all over everything. Because when you feel empowered and overconfident, you might just put blinders on and not really look at everything.
Right.
But
And
I
so,
think just because you're aware of it, that's part of it, is knowing, I think people who are making that mistake, is it being in a negative way, aren't thinking like you're thinking. They actually do that check, that self check, that say, wait a minute, am I thinking about everybody here? Like, I can't just, go forging ahead because I'm empowered. I want to take everybody with me. And am I doing that?
right.
And I
No,
think,
that's, and I know a lot of women, you stay up wondering, right? You're
oh,
always churning in your head. Like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? And, and I need the empowerment to not feel like a slug, right? And
yeah.
I need the motivation to not feel like a slug. But then I'm constantly worried about if I have a win on a case, right? And I'm feeling so great and so high. And then I immediately am like, wait a second. That's, like,
That's,
don't get ahead of yourself.
I know. Why? I know.
Why do we
I
do
I don't know. And it's funny because my whole team, we spend time empowering our clients
that?
to, um, to understand their financials. We really try to take it down to a level that everybody can understand, that we're not speaking accountingese. And so we feel like this will empower our business owners to understand what their financials are and not be intimidated by them. And then when we have a really, like one of the clients has that aha moment and we're like, yes, we're rock stars. Woo. And then, I worry that we get a little too crazy. Like you know, we got to say like, okay, no, we got to start back from zero again, because with the next client, getting them to that point, we can't start up here. We got to start down here.
Right.
And
So,
so,
so do you get to a point? I mean, are you self-aware of when you're just feeling low and you need some motivation? And then what do you do? What do you do for yourself?
okay. So the worst thing that I do when I feeling low and stuff is I go into the kitchen and I eat.
Oreos, right?
Yeah. Actually, potato chips are my
Oh, yeah.
I'm a potato chip girl. I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm a salty thing. Um, and caffeine. Like I'll be like, I'm feeling tired, and I'm gonna go make myself a cup of coffee, a cup of green tea, do something like that. Um, what I really, what I've been trying to do lately, which is getting me like focused and motivated, is I've been listening to music, just like you were saying. I have been actually, I put on Jack Johnson, and he's
Oh,
kind of
nice.
chill.
Great. Yeah.
And I have all these presentations that I'm working on, and they're taking me a long time to do. I don't know if I'm just overly conscientious about it, or I don't know. But that has really got me motivated, and 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 now I'm trying to find triggers, like you said, like when I'm low, what can I do to get me back to where I need to be? What do you do?
So you'll laugh at this. So when I'm sitting at my desk and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and sort of like, oh, there's so much to do, I don't even know where to start, I will actually spend some time cleaning my desk off. And so
Oh,
so
you
it's
know,
almost like I'm decluttering my head symbolically.
yes.
And that now I've every single time that works to just get me back on track. So the trick, I think, is recognizing in myself, wait a second, take a beat. This is what you need right now. What you need to do is declutter, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I will absolutely put on music while I'm doing that, even if it's for 5 minutes, because I think it just flushes the brain. It's,
Oh,
like it's a
I
reset.
do. Well, Jason said that he's built playlists of music for
Oh,
him
Jason, you
too.
got to share that.
And it's really interesting because I have to tell you, my teenage daughters also have that. They actually have a playlist,
Oh,
songs that you can cry to,
oh my goodness.
because teenage girls need to be more emotional.
Yeah.
But I
I
have
don't
to,
need that playlist, but
yeah, no, but like even when I go running, like if I need something to like get me going, I actually listen to Pentatonics, the a cappella group, and I listen to them doing Sing, that song Sing. It's so motivating. It's so like if you need to clean your office, just and just ask Google to play it for you, and you'll be like, yeah, I got this
okay.
over at the house. Yeah. No, it's very, very motivational. Yeah, it's funny how much music plays a part in our motivation.
Yeah.
So we've got music podcasts, books,
Yeah.
people, other like famous people that have empowered us, motivated us.
Right.
Um, and what about anyone in your family? Does anybody in your family like give you a boost, or even someone unexpected? I have a cousin who, she empowers me and doesn't even know it, because she likes everything that my company posts on Facebook.
Oh, that's nice.
Always likes it. She shares it. She's very supportive.
Yeah.
That empowers me. That makes me feel so good, because she doesn't have to do that.
No, that's fantastic. And actually that is energizing. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's funny because my parents live in India. And so we usually would see them a couple times a year. Now,
Mm,
it's probably going to be like 2 years before we see them.
okay.
And so anytime we do, if I do a call with them, they are really supportive, and that's empowering to me because when you're feeling kind of like, oh, i just I just need to go to a safe space, they are my safe space, right? And so
Oh,
I want that to be who I am for my kids, and I think
yeah.
we have that relationship. But I don't know, I think I'm not sure I see sort of the immediate people around me as having the role of motivating me, but they just do, like
Yeah.
inadvertent, you know, um, uh, in fact, yesterday, one of the other things as I'm looking at the power of she, right, is thinking, well, my kids are at swim practice right now. What's my excuse? Like, I can't even go get them for another 45 minutes. I can do a 30-minute ride on the bike. Like,
Yeah.
and that was sort of a, like, even with they don't know that they're doing that,
No. Yeah.
right? They have no idea. And Jason, I agree. I think you watch the people around you and you get inspired by them. And
Mhm.
it's, watching their successes makes you sort of say, yeah, you know what? Like, we need to get there. And we can do it. We're all getting there in different ways, but we can do it. Um,
Yeah.
so that's
That's awesome. You know what? We're coming to the end. Quickly, Jason just said on Spotify, my playlist, You Get What You Give, Mindless Dance, and JJ Fusion Groove.
I don't know these.
Sorry, Jason, you might have to share those. Next time, we are going to be talking about how and why do you set goals? Do you set them short, long term? How do you hold yourselves accountable? And what happens when you don't reach a goal?
Yeah.
So, It was great talking with you.
You
I'm
too.
like I'm like pumped up, motivated for the rest of the day.
Yeah. No more coffee.
All right. Great seeing you. Nice seeing everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. And Aisha, I'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.